Welcome to my Power BI DAX tutorial, and today in this video we are going to discuss one of the important DAX functions called calculate function. Calculate function is the most important useful function among all other DAX function. That's why I keep this function top of other DAX function. And if you look at with respect to the interview perspective, then many times a question related to the calculate is been asked in an interview. So for me, calculate is always top of other DAX function, and it is very important to understand this function. So I request you guys that don't skip this video. Watch this video completely and understand how the calculate function works in DAX. So why it is so important? Because the calculate function is extremely important in creating more complex calculations that allow us to see more in-depth data insights. Yes, and also it helps us to evaluate the expression which is then modified by the filters. And guys, here we can add any number of filters to this function. So if you look at the syntax of a calculate function, let me just show you over here. Let's call the new measure, and here let me write the calculate, and here you can see that the calculate function takes the first argument as an expression and then any number of filters. Yes, please note that expression means here we need to have a scalar value only, and in the filters we can have optionally one or more filters where filter needs to be a table expression or a table column or a boolean expression. In simple words, we can use either a function which returns a table, or simply we can evaluate using the logical operators like and, equal to, or in operators. Yes. So this is all about the syntax of a calculate function. So let's look at the calculate function with some real-time examples. So hey guys, before we see a real-time example, I just want to request you guys that if you really like the content of this video, then please like this video and do subscribe to our channel, because your one like and one subscribe keep us motivated to create more such technical contents on Power BI. And in case if you have any doubt or query related to this calculate function, then do post your query or doubt in the below comment box of this video. I will be personally answering to your doubts and query. I will be very happy to support and help you in solving your doubts and query. Yes. Now let's look at some real-time example related to calculate function. So here you can see that we have a table having the product type, and then we have this total sales, and this total sales is nothing but my sum of the fact table sales. You can see that, right? So now let's apply some calculate function. So here you can see that we have the four types of product type. You can see that we have coffee, we have espresso, we have herbal tea, then we have a tea here. Now I want to see this total sales as per the state wise also. So what I will do, let me go to the location and let me just drag and drop the state over here. Yes. So there you go. Let me bring the state to the top, and yes. So there you go. So it means that I am looking at the state wise, the product type wise, the total sales. You can see that, right? Now what I will do, let me go and create a new measure where I want to see the total sales of coffee. Okay, so for that, what I will do, let me say sales of coffee. So for that I will use calculate, and then the total sales, my expression, and it returns the scalar value. Yes. So here in the filter I'm going to use the fact table product type. So there you go, equal to coffee, I'm using this as filter here. So there you go. As I told you, we can use the logical operators also in the filter. Yes. So there you go. The sales of the coffee measure is ready. So let me just drag and drop over here. So there you go. You can see that. Now we are looking at the sales of a coffee here, and no other value is present here. You can see that for espresso, for herbal tea, for tea here. Okay. Now what we will do, now we will look at the sales of a coffee and tea both. Okay, so for that what I will do, let me call one more measure here. So here we go, sales of coffee and tea. So for that I will say calculate again the total sales, comma, the filter. So here we go, the fact table, product type, and this time we will use the in operator here. So I will say in coffee and then the tea. Close the braces, close it. There you go. Now let me drag and drop to this table. Yes. So there you go. You can see now we are looking at the sales of the total sales of coffee and tea. So there you go. You can see that. Okay. Now I want to see the total sales of coffee and tea with respect to the product type, not with respect to the state here. Means I don't want my filter to happen on the state wise. I want that my filter to happen only on the product type. Okay. So for that what I will do, let me go and create a new measure here. So I want to remove a filter of a state in simple words. Okay. So I will say total sales of tea and coffee. So there you go. Here we go, the calculate the total sales. Yes. So I want to remove the filter of a state. So what I will do, I will use all here, all function, and here I will say location state. Okay. And definitely comma, we will use the second filter as the fact table product type, because we want to see the total sales of coffee and tea only. So that's why we will use this. So I will say coffee and then the tea. Okay. So close the braces, close it. That's it. I will hit enter. So there you go. Our measure is ready. And there you go, you can see the total sales of tea and coffee where we have excluded the state here with the help of all function here, right? We have removed the filter of the state, you can see that, right? So there you go, you can see. Okay. Now let's see the percentage of growth of sales tea and coffee. Okay. So for that, let's go and call a new measure. This time I'm going to say, I just want to see the growth of the tea and coffee. So I will say percentage growth of tea and coffee. So for that, simple, we will use divide here, and here I'm going to use numerator as sales of coffee and tea divided by total sales of tea and coffee. So there you go, hit enter. Let's drag and drop. So there you go. Now let me convert this into the percentage to see the proper growth. So there you go, you can see that, right? It's 11.39, you know, you can see the growth here, right? Yes, you can see that. So for the T also you can see the growth here, right? Yes, you can see that. No growth because there is no value over here, right? So there you go. Okay. So this is all about the calculate function in this video. I hope you understand the usage of the calculate function now in Power BI. So in case if you have any doubts or any queries related to this calculate function, then post your doubts and query in the below comment box of this video. Personally, I am going to answer all your doubts and queries, and do let me know that on which topic I should take my next video on Power BI. So post your topics in the below comment section of this video. Definitely I will take up those topics in my next Power BI video. So happy learning and thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you.